Alright, I've decided I'm going to take off this part of the tapering jig that's broken so that I can get some, clean it up and get some good pictures of it, post them online, because I'm trying to find out if somebody's got a extra one that they can, off a parts machine they can send me, because it's going to be too tricky for me, I think, to braze that up. Anyways, I unscrew the handle there, take this off, and then this screws to the back of the cross slide right here. There's a screw. I have to scrape off the gunk to find it, but there's a screw here, and then there's another one on this side here. Okay, I've removed those two screws, and this just simply comes right off like that. It's a piece of cake. Oh, look at that. There's a part number stamped into the bottom by the looks. Okay, I'm going to stick these two screws backhand, so it's one less thing I have to worry about misplacing. Oh yeah, I put the broken part of the leg in here the other day. I must have cleaned that up while I'm at it. Well, I cleaned off the foot, and you can actually see a lot of paint on here underneath. Kind of gives me an idea of, well, I wouldn't say necessarily that's the original color. I don't know for sure, but I do know that that is definitely the last color it was before it got covered with so much dirt, oil, and grime that you couldn't see it anymore. I remember when I first saw this lathe in its original place where I bought it from, the lighting wasn't very good in there, and I actually thought this lathe was black by design. The only other really pictures I had seen were advertisements in magazines from the 1920s, and they were all black and white, so I really couldn't tell. But it's this color, I don't know how well it's going to come out on video, but if I had to describe this color, it looks like an army color that I remember seeing on the inside of all of the engine compartments, and on most of the engines for that matter, and most of the armored equipment. So it's kind of a, I'm sure there's a name for it, but it's like it's almost like a seafoam green. So it's a light pale green. Looks a little dark right now because it's wet, but that's I mean, that almost looks to me like a definitive or a textbook example of gray cast iron. I was reading the description for gray cast iron on, I think, the Lincoln Welding website, and it said that gray cast iron gets its name from the appearance it has where it cracks, and you can actually see the color difference there quite a bit. But I mean, that really looks gray. I don't hold out much hope on being able to track down a replacement foot. I think I'm going to have to definitely deal with actually repairing this foot. That being said, after cleaning it, I can actually see a part number in here. It's looks like it's 12 dash. Looks like there's two numbers stamped in here: 12-1505 and 12-1506. It's kind of interesting. I wonder why there's two numbers stamped on the same part. And then the other thing I'm looking at right now, which really troubles me, is this is actually bent. This is part of the damage, I think, when it got... I think it actually, believe it or not, even though it's cast, it bent a little before it broke. And that's going to present a bigger problem for me than anything else, really. And the more I look at this, the more I realize that that is not bent. That's almost an optical illusion I was seeing, because of the fact that this is a tapered leg. Because I look at it, the way I was looking at it, it looked like it was bent, but if I look at it from this side, it looks very straight. I'm put it on a flat edge. I'll check that in a minute. So here's the part of the tapering jig that broke off, and luckily for me, this also has a part number stamped right on it, and it looks like there's a 12 on the left hand side, a dash in the middle, and 1085. So I think that's going to be a 12-1085, and as memory serves me, I think that's actually how the Hendey part numbers run. So I think that's a good part number, because I think they changed the design on this tapering jig over the years. So if somebody's got a newer Hendey and they think they've got the part that I need, I'll know for sure by having them tell me what the number is. Yeah, I flipped the leg upside down and put it on the top of the parts washer here, which is relatively flat, and it looks pretty good. Now I'll flip it end over end and put a straight edge on it. Yeah, there's no gap. I can't see any light underneath there, so it's straight that way, and then it's straight that way, and even if I go kitty corner across there, it's straight. So that is perfectly, that's all in the same plane. I don't know what I was thinking to think that that possibly could have even been bent. That's the thing with cast iron, it doesn't bend, it breaks. Hey, I moved the Hendey over underneath the beam where I wanted it, and I hung my chain around the beam, and so now I should be able to put the chain fall on there and lift the headstock end up, and I want to get these rollerways out of here. That was kind of a junky one anyways, but I want to at least get this one out of here because I might need them tomorrow. I may have accidentally bought another lathe. What I mean to say is, well, let me rephrase that. What I'm saying is, tomorrow I'm taking a road trip to look at another lathe that I needed like a hole in the head. But I got to check it out because it's another Hendey, and you know it needs some things, but it looks like it might have some things I need. I mean, I might end up being able to buy this as a parts machine, cheap, and I may have found a replacement for the broken taper jig part and the broken foot. So then I don't have to, I mean, I'm definitely going to try and weld that cast iron foot because I just want it as a learning experience, but if I can get a cast iron foot that has no cracks in it and put it on there, you bet I'd want to put it on there. Well, it's late, so I got to get moving here. Since I don't really care about that other rollaway because it's so weak, I really want to just get this one out of here. So I tried hooking onto the middle there, hoping maybe get a little bit of the weight off of this end here, and it just started rolling the whole machine out that way more than I want. So I'm going to see now if I can't just get the pry bar under this end a little bit, just enough so I can get this board out of here, and then I should be able to slide that because this foot's almost on the floor. All right, mission accomplished. I got my rollaway out for tomorrow. For now, I'll just leave this here. I'm not going to need my chain fall where I'm going. I'll take the other chain fall in case I do need one. I'm not going to need two, that's for sure.